Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Humans, semi-humans, alleged humans, others, and you know who you are. Week 1, Wi-Fi, draft, swag, searching now. Got a very fun team with us today. Although this might not show because these are all just traditional sets, I would say. Spadev Skeledirge, Scarf, Valiant, Hazard Stacking, Defensive Gliscor, Support Grafii, Terra Water Defensive Regigigas for the Gouging Fire, and Heavy Duty Boots, Special Attacking Salamence. Our opponent is Mr. Bo Nana today. He's got a Sun team with the aforementioned Gouging Fire on it. Very threatening, but I have faith. And beer. Actually, hold up. Let's start this off correctly. That's the stuff. Real gamer juice right here. Let's get it. Angelo. He actually didn't bring Sun, but he did bring the Venusaur, so this leads me to believe it's going to be a more defensive build for Valiant. Let's see. Comfey, Skarm, Gouging Fire. No Inteleon either, so that makes Gliscor look a lot better. Like, how's he actually going to kill Gliscor with this team? I couldn't tell you. Could have Ice Beam on the turtle. But other than that, I don't know. So I think it's a pretty safe lead, since Skelly can pretty much wall anything the turtle wants to do. And he has no hazard removal outside of Spin on Turtle, which is blocked by Mr. Dirge. So we're just going to go ahead and try to get up some Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes immediately. Yeah, because Venusaur isn't that threatening outside of Sun. So I'm not really worried about taking damage from anything here. So let's go ahead and lead that and get right into it. I do not have Taunt, unfortunately, and I have no hazard removal, so once the Skarm sets that stuff up, it's going to stick around. Unfortunately, but I do have boots on everybody except for Gliscor and Valiant. Gliscor doesn't get hit with any hazards other than rocks and doesn't really care because Poison Heal, and Valiant is a Scarfer that doesn't really care either. Lead Skarmory, fair. This cannot touch me and is probably just going to be setting up its own hazards, so I'm going to do the same. He does have a Venusaur to absorb Toxic Spikes, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rocks up first. Skarm lost Defog, so this can't clear hazards. And his team is way worse in the hazards than mine is. So from here, do I go for the T-Spikes or do I swamp out? He could just start letting his own spikes out, which isn't that threatening. I think I can get up at least one layer of T-Spikes and just see what he does. And we do have knockoff on the Regigigas to knock off any boots users he may have as well. From here, I think Biggie Smalls is pretty fair. It counters this thing if it stays in, and if he goes into the Venu, it's good into that as well. I could also go Ector here, and Fire Blast, or set up a Focus Energy and then Fire Blast, but this thing could Whirlwind me out. So it's a lot less threatening to Skeledirge. So we're gonna do that. I could have gotten up to second layer too, but he could just go hard Venu right now, so maybe it probably would have been better to do that. He Whirlwinds, actually. Interesting. Who's coming out? This is not good, because he could just have a stab move and just blow me away, and he has 30, so I'm not one-shotting this. Not that I one-shot anyway with this set, but... if he Whirlwinds again, I'd rather go into this, because I want Skeledirge in front of this. Bacardi can't really do anything back, but it can set up the second T-Spike. So we're just gonna do that. He withdraws into Whomst. So he does absorb the Toxic Spike. So I could get the second one up now. Well, it would be the first one, but... we see Black Sludge. Let me write this all down real quick. This guy had Rocks, Spikes, and Whirlwind, which means he either doesn't have an attacking move or doesn't have Roost, which is very convenient. This guy's got Black Sludge, and that's all we know. It could be Manual Sun as well. I can't rule that out entirely. And in that case, it makes me want to stay in even less, because this is Fizz Def. I don't think he would just go for a Sleep Powder here, so I feel like Salamence is pretty free. So we're going to do that. Let's see what he does. Fire Blast is going to 2-hit KO this. And we do have some Spadef in us as well. Does 30%. And he's not Life Orb, so he's actually like not doing damage to this at all. I don't think he can even 2-hit KO this thing, even with Sludge Bomb. But that is like max special attack. Probably not modest, but still a lot. It could be max HP, max special attack. And even then, it's still cleanly 2-hit KO by Fire Blast. And the only two mons that switch in don't really want to switch in on a Dragon Dancing Salamence, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. Get some big damage off on this, help Valiant out in the late game. If he brings in Skarmory, that'd also be epic. Huge, so huge, just don't miss. Don't miss. And the Sturdy's broken. Huge. Burn? Burn? Oh no, burn. Actually, he dies to rocks. He literally dies to rocks now. If he swaps out. So I think I just fire off another attack here. I could just fire off another Fire Blast. I guess if he wants to keep this as a sack, Fire Blast does damage to Comfey, which is probably the most likely switch in. And I'm faster than Gouging Fire, so if that does come out, I can just Draco it. And I'm almost... it one-shots non-like heavy Spadef builds, but we're gonna miss the Fire Blast anyway. And he does Whirlwind, which is why I was against clicking Focus Energy, because I just wanted to kill this. So let's see what we get thrown into. This is fine. Actually, this is super fun. I can just taunt this now. I can't damage it, unfortunately, but I can taunt it now and then go into parting shot on whatever comes out after. I feel like he is just going to leave this in. I don't see the merit in keeping this around, but if he does want to keep it as a sack, then it's like... I mean, at the same time, what even wants to come into a gunk shot on his team? Nothing, really. Tropicos doesn't want to get poisoned, and the other guys don't take it very well. And he might not... We don't know if he has an attack in the last slot or not. So from here, we just parting shot. Get a clean switch. Because he's probably swapping this out. And if not, then... we know he's clicking an attack, so we can just go Gliscor. Or Dirge. Or we go Regigigas and get our Terra Water off, so we can take hits from Gouging Fire, but I don't want to do that right now, because a Body Press is going to hurt, and we also don't really do damage to this thing. So, this guy I could also go this. I'm clicking the fire move either way. I'm just going to go Biggie. Because this one at least 100% accurate. And we dodged the body press. Very nice. Now, he doesn't have great switch-ins to this. His 2 fire resists are offensive, and they're not going to want to take hazards, and it also tells us... if he goes Gouging Fire in particular, it'll tell us if he is boost or not, which I really appreciate. But Yawn is actually a safer play, because if he stays in, he doesn't accomplish anything, and if he swaps out, then it gets put to sleep. He could stay in, and then he'll get another spike up, which would suck. But then it's like, we get to put this to sleep. And then we guarantee kill next turn. Because we click... actually, how... maybe I messed up. I think this is the last turn of taunt, so... he's probably just going to get the spike up, so... and Sleep Clause is going to be in effect this game, so I'm just going to Torch Song. Crap, I forgot to tell him about Terra. We're doing Terra preview. Yeah, so we do have Terra Water Regigigas, and we do have to tell each our opponents our Terra Captains. Our opponent didn't bring his Terra Captain, which was the Chimecho. So that's on me, but fortunately it hasn't come out yet, so it's not a... I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it would have changed any plays he would have made so far. So we did get 2 spikes and a stealth rock up, and Valiant does have some chip on it, unfortunately. So not perfect, but we do have our rocks up, which is a lot more detrimental to him. And I don't think he brought any knockoff users. Do any of these guys get knockoff in this game? Comfey gets it. Venu gets it. Okay, so he did have 2 knockoff users. Unfortunately. Skeletors does need to stick around for the Terapagos and the Comfey, though. Morty Jr. So I have a couple options here. I could just stay in and encore on whatever he does. Because if he sets up, I beat this thing. But at the same time, he knows that because it's unaware. It just is. Alright, so I really think a knockoff is coming out here. And I feel like Bacardi's the play, because he's not afraid of knockoff. It really doesn't get any ice coverage, so it can't hit it super hard. I get to set up toxic spikes for free, and we're not really afraid of him setting up because we have this unaware guy and this guy who has... I can swap in, take a hit, and Prankster Encore. So let's do this. We should see the knockoff come out here. Yep. Very big for us. Very glad I got to get this mon too. Swaps into all the moves that usually like cause trouble. Status moves and knockoff. And they just don't work on this guy. It's very nice. I could toss out an Earthquake as well. The Venu does have... It has like 1 round of Stealth Rock chip, but I think it healed it all back. Is Earthquake's damage output even going to be worth it? We don't know if what the spread is specifically on this, but... Yeah, we know he has max special attack. If he's max HP, he's taking... It's a 3 KO, and he could have Synthesis, so that might just not be worth. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Toxic Spikes out. And if he goes hard Venu now, then that's even better, because the Spike stays out. He does go for the Calm Mind. Again, not super worried about this, because we do have 2 Mons that can handle it just fine. Grafii would be nice because it threatens to Oko this, and I don't have to worry about knockoff because I can Prankster Encore it into that move. Now Grafii is built to be faster than this, so even if it goes for priority healing, our priority will be faster. But I really don't want to take an attack, a psychic attack. What else does Graf need to do this game? It's not even that big a loss if something happens to it. Yeah, I'm gonna just go for it. Because losing boots on Dirge would be horrible. Nice. So we free Encore into this. Can we just Gunk Shot? Because I could just Gunk Shot too. But if he's like Sash or something, that's a bad play then. If he's like Sash stored powered. So we're just gonna make the safe play in Encore. We have the lead, might as well play safe. And now we get a guaranteed Gunk Shot off here. It also covers the misses, because we could have just completely missed. And then we'd be ultra screwed. Alright, let's toss it out. Nothing wants to take this, because even the mons that take it okay don't want to get poisoned, and Venusaur is still taking like a decent chunk, I imagine. Grafii might be able to beat Veno one-on-one, to be honest. I live with 1 Earth Power. And Gunk Shot actually 2 KOs after rocks versus a max HP variant. Let's see who's going to attempt to hold this. I think it's a Venusaur. Does get rid of the T-Spikes, and we do unfortunately miss. I could go for it anyway. Actually, how much do I do? The min is 43.9 and he's got Black Sludge, so I think even if we land... If I land 2, I think he still lives, and 2 Earth Powers kills me, so I'm just gonna Parting Shot out. I don't even think I need to taunt this. I think an attack is just coming out. And if it also covers doubles, which is pretty nice, if he jumps a double into something. think I get my T-Spike up here. Because now this thing doesn't threaten Gliscor. Excuse me. Doesn't threaten Gliscor, and nothing else wants to deal with T-Spikes. So the next time something comes in, if it's not boost, it's getting poisoned. And we do have Protect if we need to out-sustain this. Goes for Leech Sheet and misses, so a little miss for miss action. I think the play is still staying in T-Spike because Earthquake wouldn't matter much if he Leaf stays in and Seeds anyway. And then we can just swap out into something else. A double would be out. He could double out, but I don't know what he'd double into. It'd have to be like the Comfey. Do I go for the second spike though? How much does Leech Sheets drain? And also, does it go before or after Poison Heal? It does go after, so I can actually just stay on and get a free second layer. Since I'm not losing HP. He is going to go for an attack, but it's not really going to matter. It's not really going to do damage. And if he doubles out, we get a guaranteed poison on something that's not boots. Do I double it? What does he go into? He went to Comfey last time. The other two don't want to go in versus this, so I think it has to be Comfey or Terapagos. And Terapagos only really wants to come in here if it's boots. I feel like the second T-Spike might be kind of greedy. I could just double out. Well, this also could just click knockoff on my double into Skeledirge or Hector, and that would be unpleasant. And Hector doesn't even want to come in on a Comfey anyway. So we're just going to get this up. Yeah, that actually did a lot more than I thought. That's -1, and it did. Brought me down to 258. So yeah, that's just max special. It's basically what I confirmed already anyway. But this thing is actually really strong. I did not think that would do that much damage. I think Hector's the play now. Because he might just stay in and try to fight this out. And yeah, we're not even afraid of Comfey coming in, because now that's not boosted, Grafia can switch and draw it directly. Maybe I should have protected first and scouted out what he was going to do, because he could click knockoff right now. I probably should have done that. Sludge Bomb. Huge, no poison, no poison. Fire Blast or Roost? So he probably figured out... I mean, I could still be like mixed Dragon Dance. He has to respect that. Just with Fire Blast for the Skarmory. But... I don't know, does he want to stay in? Nothing takes a Fire Blast super well. Terrakion, we have a Gliscor to switch into. And Gouging Fire is going to be difficult, but we can outplay around it. I could just Draco here too. I mean, is he more likely to bring in the Fire Resist or a Comfey on this? I would bring in Comfey just because it's a fat mon and can kind of do well against Salamence. So I guess I'm more... But I don't really care if Comfey comes in. So I'm just going to Draco, because we have switch-ins for Comfey. If he brings out something else, we can't switch into it that easy. He does go Comfey. That's fine. Fire Blast would have done... I don't know how much anyway. And we get the poison. The badly poison, because we did get the second layer, so that's actually very huge. Do I go hard Graph or do I stay in and Roost though? I feel like I can get a Roost off. Comfey, Draining Kiss. Draining Kiss from uninvested does 35% max. And 46 if it's max attack or special attack, but not modest. He could also just knock off here. I think we're just gonna roost. I don't think he's gonna knock off with the Grafii in the back. Yeah, that's very fine. He does a lot of damage, but Roost heals off more than he does. So this is that's a turn in my favor. And we racked up another turn of poison damage. And I think from here, now that there's a chance of knockoff coming out, and the other play is Draining Kiss or Switch, we're just gonna go Grafii. Oh, Grafii hasn't been knocked off. What am I talking about? What's his life score? Which I could go into, but I don't want this thing to take damage. I could go into this and get one protect off, but then he can just Calm Mind. So I'm not gonna let that happen. We're just gonna go into Blade here. And even if he doubles, then it's like, we can just Parting Shot out. Does Parting Shot proc Justified? I assume it does. Knock off. Yeah. Oh, after it is damaged by a dark type move. So I actually don't think it does, which is very nice. And I think we're, again, in a prime position to just fire off a Gunk Shot. Let's do it. We get guaranteed value out of this Gunk Shot. Draining Kiss. So if we land, this should be a dead thing. A dead man. There we go. Blade is on the board. I actually don't remember who killed Skarmory, unfortunately, but I can just watch it back. I don't think, because the Fire Blast from Mence didn't kill. Oh, Skeledirge did it, yeah, with a Torch Song. I can actually just write that down. Skarmory's 0-1 and Comfey's 0-1. Very curious to see what he goes into. The item on Terracion's gonna make a big deal. Clear Amulet or Boots or whatever it is. This guy is Boots. Good to know. Which is gonna help take hits from it. But the problem is, what do I do? Do I stay in? All this Grafii it can help versus Venusaur, but it's overall not that useful. And Venu probably has Earth Power for this and Dirge. So I think firing off a Gunk Shot or a Taunt is the play. Actually, definitely Gunk Shot, because if he wants to Dragon Dance, I can just Encore him into that. Interesting. That's actually fine. Now we Encore him into that. That's fine by me. Losing a Gunk Shot PP isn't optimal, but I can play around it. And he could double out to Venusaur here, but Venu isn't that big of a threat, especially because we can just Parting Shot it. It'll absorb the Toxic Spikes, which will suck, but they kind of done their job, and also we can just we'll probably have another chance to put him up again. Either versus Venu, or even versus Terrakion, depending on the set. Like if it's Scarf Terrak, we can put him up very easily. But we also don't really need him anymore. I'm actually, no, there's this Terapagos in play. We definitely need him. Now, does that block Parting Shot? Because that's what I want to click here. Protect from damaging attacks. Yeah, we're gonna... This is a free Parting Shot. Neuters this thing, and neuters whatever the double is that's probably coming in. Probably Venusaur. Yeah, free Parting Shot here. Unfortunately, we do lose the Toxic Spikes, but like I said, we won't really have a problem getting them back up, and they also aren't. No, they're still necessary. The question is, after seeing that Giga Drain damage, do I even want to go back into Bacardi? I feel like I don't. I feel like I just go Hector. Could I just Focus Energy, actually? Is this the Focus Energy turn? Because his switch, he doesn't... Actually, I could just Draco. Nothing takes a Draco. Get him, Hector. Love that little toss on him. Alright, let's see. How much is a Draco doing to this guy? Max HP, it's not killing at all. I could Draco first and then Focus Energy if he stays in. He's probably gonna Leech Seed. Is he gonna stay in? I don't know. Because he doesn't want to switch. He doesn't want to switch any of those guys into this. But at the same time, if we Focus Energy, then it's just kind of a dead play if he swaps out into Chirac or the other guy. So I'm gonna Draco first. This drops won't even matter after the Focus Energy. So I'm just gonna drop a Draco. And he does withdraw, so we did make the correct play. Nothing wants to eat this. Especially not this. This should just drop. Huge, huge. Biggest threat out of the way. We're looking really, really good here. Shame though, I didn't get to show off that Reggie Gigas. But there's still plenty of game left, so we'll see what ends up happening. He can kind of do okay against Chirac as well. This is, well, it's only really an issue if it's Swords Dance. If it's a choice set, Gliscor beats it. So I think what I actually do is I go Grafaiai. It's not super necessary anymore, and if he does click Swords Dance, then we beat it. And if he's not Swords Dance, we just go Gliscor. Alright, let's see it. A lot of hazard damage. Goes for the Stone Edge. So that doesn't really tell us anything. But the fact that he didn't get to Swords Dance up means Gliscor should be fine. Let me run a calc. It's at 258 HP. There's rocks up, and this is a potentially choice banded Terrakion. Although he's probably Jolly because he needs it to outspeed Salamence. So let's see. We do live. We just don't live 2. And Earthquake is going to do a lot of damage to this. Actually, can Valiant just kill this? Valiant just drops this, actually. Just go that. What am I doing? So he's got this guy, he's got Venu, and he's got the turtle. We have to click a fighting move, unfortunately. It won't do much in the Venu, but we don't have a better alternative. Even then, the Stealth Rock chip plus this close combat, it's gonna rack up. It did nothing. So what's the switch now? Zingrify sucks now. I had to get either Ector or Dirge in a prime position. And Dirge is more important versus Terapagos, so I do think Ector honestly doesn't do much after this Venu, so I could just go this. Or I go Regigigas, T-Wave it, knock it off, get some chip on it, and then go Ector. I think that's the play. I don't even have to Terra it now. Terra Water from now on only helps with Terrakion and potential body press Terapagos, but versus this guy, we're not gonna Terra. A Thunder Wave is actually very free on this next turn, so we're just gonna do that. And Regigigas hits the field for the first time. Do get the poison, unfortunately, but we do have rest if I do feel like I can go for it. But ultimately, this is here to just take hits, dish out some utility, and then bring the Mence back in. I could knock off first, because he's probably just going to Leech Seed or whatever, and I don't want to knock off into a Terrakion, and I highly doubt that's what he goes here. T-Wave is safer if he does decide to do that, so let's do that. He does stay in and Seed. That's fine. Fine by me, as long as you stay in for the next turn. How much does Earth Power actually do to this? Just curious. Not a thing. 15% at most. Yeah, we need to knock it off here. He's probably just gonna go for an attack, I imagine, because it's a Regigigas. And that does give us a knockoff. Help us neuter the recovery. Very nice. And now we get a clean switch to Mence. We can take a Sludge Bomb from this range. Yeah, it's not Life Orb, so we take a Sludge Bomb from this range and just fire off a... probably a Draco. Just with the same logic as before. Or we fire off a Focus Energy. He wants to keep this around for so he doesn't get insta-swept by Valiant, is the thing. So is he willing to sack a Terrakion? Draco definitely drops Terrakion, right? 61 to 72, but after 2 rounds of rocks, it's gonna be cutting it close. A Sludge Bomb, that's gonna do a lot to me, isn't it? I definitely can't take 2, can I? So I might just have to YOLO Focus Energy then. Item none. Yeah, we definitely don't take 2. So I think we have to just Focus Energy. He does unfortunately swap out. Why did that do so little? We definitely go Gliscor here. and either wall it depending on the set, or let it go to get a kill for Valiant. This game is definitely not over yet. It's getting very dicey at this end game. He does miss the Stone Edge. Fortunate for him, but also now I don't know what set he is. I'm assuming he's not Sword Stance, because I feel like that would have been a prime Sword Stance opportunity. From here, do I just fire off an Earthquake? I think I do, because that Venu lost its Black Sludge. And if this thing subs for some reason... Goes Rick, so we're gonna break the Terra Shell at least. Unfortunately, we did not have the Toxic Spikes up to poison it, but we do have Skeledirge, which should wall this indefinitely. And he is Heavy Duty Boots, so that's really good, because that means he can't just keep procking his thing over with leftovers. So we always go Dirge here. And Yawn is actually going to be very free. Covers this and Tarak, and Venu can't switch into a Dirge because it is paralyzed. It'll eat the Yawn, but it won't eat a Torch Song afterward. Ice Beam. Eat that for breakfast. No freeze. Bliss. Let's go ahead and toss this Yawn out. If I'm in his position, what do I... Well, the problem is the Terapicos moveset. I have no idea what it is. Even Earth Power or Dark Pulse isn't gonna do much. Yeah, we're built to beat this thing. That Spadef drop is kind of nasty, though. The question is, what do I do now? Surely another one doesn't drop me. Surely. That Ice Beam brought me down to, like, to 373, I believe. Uh, 409 minus 373. Did 36 damage, so that's probably just... And we know the item, so it's just max special attack, right? Yeah. It might actually be modest. So with that in mind, this Earth Power is gonna hurt. Can that actually kill? No, it can't. It can't. So we're gonna slack. We slack. Yeah, I really wanted to yawn into this, but I can't. I can't let this thing die. Actually, no, because he would have been asleep and we lived a hit, so I should have slacked off the next turn. That should have been another yawn for me. That's a misplay. But at this point, I'm pretty confident that this is not... I'm pretty confident this is choice, because he just attacked every time. And if that's the case, Gliscor beats it. So we can just go into that. Yeah, that slack off was a misplay. That should have been a yawn. No matter. Let's keep going. Stone Edge. 258 to 93 on a crit. What does that mean? I feel like that's Scarf. I feel like that shit is a way more on band. Yeah, that should have... I think that's Scarf. So how much is this next one gonna do? Not a thing. He's probably swapping out anywhere. Actually, can I go for Earthquake here? I can if he is Scarf, I go for the Earthquake. So I'm gonna do it. And yeah, Earthquake is better into the switches because it racks up more chip. And then I can protect on this turn and get some recovery for the Tarak. Earthquake does a solid amount of damage to this. To a mod with no recovery, that's very nice. I'm assuming this is going to be like Assault Vest or something, but... Or like Double Dance. Let's see. Ice Beam. He could Earth Power, but we're at full HP on the Dirge anyway, so it's fine, as long as he doesn't get a drop. So we're just gonna go into that. It's the safest play. Salamence is also kind of a sack at this point, but Intimidate is nice for the Tarak, and if it does ever get in a good position, like versus this Terapagos or something, then Draco is very free click. No drop, nice. Does 160. Question is, what do I yawn first, or do I slack off if he stays in? I yawn if he goes to rack. I feel like he's gonna fire off one more Earth Power, expecting the yawn, and then go to rack. And I get the call right. How much does Immense do to this, actually? We just assume like max HP, Draco is 50%. I think, what's his name, drops this thing. Valiant drops this if it's not Shotpool. Can I actually take an Earth Power with Valiant? Probably not after Rocks and Spikes, so... Do we yawn here? I think yeah, we do. And from here, I have a decision to make. I can risk letting this go and yawn again into Tarak, or I go Gliscor. Because I don't mind losing Dirge if this guy gets put to sleep anyway. But at the same time, Tarak comes out and I put a Drowsy, what am I going to do? Because I have to double out at that point, and then he just gets a free switch. So at this point, I'm going to make the double into Gliscor. I could do Mockingjay as well, but that is very risky, especially if he does fire off an Earth Power. This is a much safer play. Goes back into this. Racks up some more Stealth Rock chip. We get our Gliscor back in. I think we can fire off another... I could fire off a Toxic Spike, actually. I like that better. Because the chip honestly doesn't matter that much. And Toxic Spikes puts him in on the timer more faster than Earthquake chip will. As long as we can get more chip on this Venusaur, which he hasn't been bringing in, then... So maybe I should have Earthquaked, because it covers Venusaur better, but... We just need to chip this Venusaur down for a what's-his-name sweep, a Valiant sweep. Now from here, I don't want Venu to come in. I want to punish Venu. Do I do that with Protect or with hard Biggie Small? Because Biggie Smalls needs to come in on It can pretty much only do work against Venu now because it's slower than Terapagos. So from that perspective, do I risk sacking this off now or do I risk Salamence? I feel like Biggie is more useless, but it can beat Venu one-on-one. But Salamence I get way more reward for bringing in. Do I think he's gonna... Biggie, honestly... I should have gone Biggie, but... I should have gone Biggie. I regretted that as soon as I clicked it. Let's just hope he makes a read and Earth Powers. Or doubles. To Venu. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's a throw. That's a throw on my part. Bring this back in. I'm very upset with myself for that. What if I Fire Punch? Is that troll? How much can I do to Venu on Fire Punch? Fire Punch actually just 2 KOs, but honestly, close combat might 2 KO. It's getting low on HP. I'm just gonna close combat. Lost Black Sludge. It's taking a bunch of chip. Oh, I didn't realize I had that much HP. But Fire Punch also lets him bring something else back in. I could be a man and CC right now, and then if he Leech Seeds or gets parried, I think I just insta-win. Is that what I do? Or do I go Biggie Smalls on that? Because his 2 plays are Sludge Bomb or Leech Seed. CC might not actually kill after a Leech. 2 CCs might not kill after a Leech Seed, so let's go Biggie. Just don't poison me with the Sludge Bomb. I think the Slack is absolutely free. Yeah, no, we Slack. We can't yawn if he stays in. And we can eat an Earth Power. Its Earth Powers are weaker than Terapagos's. I just had to go Gliscor on Tarak. Now I really wish I had Spikes this week. Spikes would have been so good here in this endgame. Yeah, I think if I would have sacked Dirge and gone Mens, I could have gotten a Draco kill, and then I'd be able to use Gliscor or Valiant more freely. I'm just gonna go for the Torch Song here. We need to chip on this. Torch Song might actually kill. I probably should have Torch Song the first turn, but no matter. We do what we can. Yeah, Torch Song might have just killed. Is that Valiant? Does that put him in? I think he's in Valiant range. I think it's over. He could have Quick Attack on the Terrakion, but other than that, he has no priority. I'm gonna go for it. That looks like it's in CC range. Oh, we can't swap back out though. So we just have to hope he doesn't have Quick Attack. That sucks. Because Gliscor can't beat the Terapagos one-on-one. Please don't have quick attack. Does Serapagos get priority? Probably gets Vacuum Wave or something, right? It doesn't. Does it get any priority? I don't see any. So I think as long as Tarak doesn't have quick attack, which if it's a Scarf set, which I think it is, it shouldn't have anyway, then I think we just won. Okay. This was 1-1. Skelly Dirge is 1-1. Am I dumb? What else did I bring? Yeah, we just gotta go for it. Should I terrestrialize and cheat? Maybe. He didn't click it. I think that's game. I think that's a dub. I think that's a dub. And I almost put Boost Energy on this too. But Scarf came in handy. Rick and Morty, yeah. Rick and Morty. And he's not Chopple because he's Boots. That's game. There it is. GG's to my opponent, Mr. Bonana. That was an excellent game. Beautiful, beautiful week 1. Well played on both sides. Beautiful game. GG's to my opponent. 2-0 win to start off the season and 3 kills for Iron Valiant. Very huge. Alright, very well played on both sides. And that quick attack, that was a game changer. That no quick attack. Oh my! All right, I'll talk to y'all later. See you around.